Hey guys, Papa Pete once again. This time I got some more pickups, but some special pickups. These are the pickups from a trip that Mama C and I just took down through Maine into New Hampshire and also into Massachusetts. I didn't bore her too much by dragging her to game stores all over the place, but I did take advantage of a few different stores that we both like, and we stopped and I managed to pick up a few things. Anyway, I can't wait to share it all with you, so stick around.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you haven't grown up by the age of 50, you don't have to.
Okay guys, so before we get this all started, getting kind of parched here, I have from Fuggles and Warlock Craftworks a gin and lime pilsner. It is a beer infused with gin and lime, and it's pretty strong too. I think it's like 6.3%. It is from a microbrewery out of Richmond, British Columbia, Canada. So nowhere near here, but still it's a small brewery from Canada, and they're selling the stuff way out here on the East Coast. So can't wait to try this one out. Beautiful. Alright, I got that mess all cleaned up, so let's get on with the pickups. Now, the first thing I have to show you is at a place called Newbury Comics, which is a chain, so I assume it might be all over the country. I don't know, but they got a lot of really neat stuff there. And I went in, and the first thing I saw was this really cool NES. And I looked at it, and I showed it to Mama C, and we looked inside, and it was 3 pair of socks, right in like the old the cartridge holders as well. We got Donkey Kong, Zelda, and of course Mario. So I saw that and I just had to have it for my collection. Will I wear the socks? Sure I will. I'll wear them sometime, absolutely, this winter. But just really happy to have that. That's sort of neat. I love stuff like this, the different Nintendo products. So really happy to add that to my collection. The store where Newbury Comics was in the Maine Mall, which is in Portland, Maine. And while I was also at the same mall, the Maine Mall, I took a stop at GameStop where they had a special, 3 for $15 on all their used games. So I took advantage, picked up a few older games that I probably wouldn't normally have gotten, but they're a lot better deals than what I can get here in Canada. First game I got was Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games, Sega edition. I don't know much about this one. I picked up the Winter Games just recently, so I was really thought it was sort of neat to pick this one up. No manual with this one, I'm afraid, but the disc looks really good. It's in great shape. The next one, I've talked about how much I love these different games. This is an Xbox 360 game, Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. That's Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. I've got the other 2 Lego Batman games and tons of other Lego games. I really enjoy playing them. This particular one is in just like new shape. Great disc, great manual. So another one of the Xbox 360 collection. Like I said, eventually these are going to be the ones you're going to find. Will I ever get a complete collection of Xbox 360? I doubt it very much. But I still really like the games and I really like the system. Now the last game I got at GameStop was the one I saw first and the one I decided I really wanted to get it because it had to be under $9.99 to be part of the deal. And I saw this one, it was like $10, so it was The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess for the Wii. What the hell? The PAL version. I didn't notice that until right now I got a good look at it. That is kind of crappy really, but that's alright. Still in very good shape. There it is, UK and Ireland, Nintendo UK, right on the back of it. But still, the inserts are in great shape. So is the manual. The disc is just like brand new. Good for the collection. I guess I got a Wii PAL version of The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Could be worse things to get for $5. Maybe I'll be able to trade it somewhere for something else. Now, when we were down on vacation, we based ourselves out of Concord, New Hampshire, but it was about an hour drive down on Tuesday. We went in for the day to Boston. We went to see a Red Sox game. We also took advantage. It was a beautiful sunny day, and we walked around town. We went through the park, and we visited Cheers, which was really neat. The actual Cheers location that they show for the exterior views in the original TV series, a sitcom, back in the 80s and 90s, it is that outside of the building. Now, the inside doesn't look the same, but they have set up a bar that sort of looks like the bar that was in the TV show. So we went in there, we had a couple drinks, had a couple really good beer actually, and it was just really fun to do. Also, after that, we went for a nice long walk, walked the whole way over to Fenway Park, and visited Wahlburgers, went to Wahlburgers for lunch. They have those all over the States now, I know, but originally they were just around the Boston area. They've expanded. I really enjoyed it. Now, we went to the Red Sox game that night. They played the Toronto Blue Jays, and you might think that I'm from Canada, so I'm a big Blue Jays fan, but nothing could be farthest from the truth. Matter of fact, I don't really like the Blue Jays at all. The only team I like less than the Blue Jays would be the New York Yankees. But this isn't a sports show. It's nothing about that. All sports are off the table here. We're just going to talk about games and such. And for that game, I got to see the Blue Jays. Unfortunately, the Red Sox lost. But it was Mookie Betts bobblehead night. So, Mama C and I each got a Mookie Betts bobblehead. And they're really neat. We went in early. As part of Red Sox Nation, went up and watched a little bit of the game, watched a little bit of the batting practice from the top of the Green Monster. And it's such a great perspective up there. Anyway, we were up there for about a half hour watching them have BP. And on the way back down, we were just sauntering down through, and a fella met us, and he hadn't gotten one of these Mookie Betts ones. And he said, hey, you got two of them there, would you like to trade? So what he had was a Pawtucket Red Sox Jackie Bradley Jr. bobblehead. And this one's really neat because it's actually him sliding. I can't try to find a picture of it. It's him sliding, I guess it's not on there, into second base. So it's a really cool one. I mean, instead of having two of this one, we end up with a Jackie Bradley Jr. and a Mookie Betts. Really happy to get both those. Just something neat to remember our trip to Boston, our trip to Fenway for the game. And yeah, I love the Red Sox. So two great players right there. The next day, we did a little bit of shopping around the Concord, Tilton area, but one place we did stop that we've stopped, usually we go down there, is a place called Pitchfork Records. It's a used record, used VHS store. They have all kinds of CDs, posters, all kinds of really neat things in that store. But while I was there was another reason I was down in New Hampshire actually for that trip, not just to get down to the ball game, but I was going to go to a concert the next night. Well, I did pick up a couple of CDs, and you can find music, you can find stuff online all the time, like from Google Play or anything like that. So I don't buy a whole lot of CDs now for other music types unless it's really special. Well, these ones were. The first one I got is a copy of Monty Python Sings. I love comedy albums, and I can remember listening to this years ago. I have different Monty Python records and such from back in the day, and this is like a greatest hits of all the best songs from their movies, from the TV show. And if you ever get the opportunity to listen to it, if you like Monty Python, by all means, please check it out. Now, the other one I got, the other CD that I got goes along with the main reason that we were down in New Hampshire for that week. We went down that week to go to see Weird Al Yankovic in concert, the Strings Attached tour, in Guilford, New Hampshire at the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion. What a great show he put on. Anyway, before I got to the show, I went into Pitchfork Records and I found a copy of the UHF soundtrack on CD, which, funny thing is the only CD of Weird Al Yankovic that I didn't have up to this point. So it was really neat that I found it. I got it like $4 or something like that. So listen to that. We've all probably seen the movie. If you haven't seen UHF, by all means, search it out. Find it. It's a hilarious movie. Man, it was out at the same time as like Temple of Doom and different movies, big hits, blockbusters back in like 87, 88, 86 in that area. And it got sort of just, everybody missed it because it was just overwhelmed. But it really is a great, funny movie. Weird Al Yankovic humor. Gotta love it, and it's great music. So happy to get this and complete my Weird Al CD collection. I have them sort of tucked away right now. That's something I might dig out in the near future and just put together a little Weird Al Yankovic shrine with some of the stuff that I picked up recently, like the cards, like my action figure that Mama C got me for Christmas. And you know what?
What?
More and more stuff of Weird Al's all the time. The last place I stopped to look for games during my trip down was a place that I visited once before. 64-bit and I got to stop. Mama C and he and I and MJ, we went down to see the Foo Fighters last summer. And on the way back, we found this little thrift store, for lack of a better word, more like a little antique knick-knack shop that was really sort of secluded in Kittery, Maine, called Lost Coast. Well, this time I knew it was there, so I made sure I stopped on the way back. Let's make a long story short. I picked up a couple great things there while I was there talking to John, and the first thing that caught my eye was a stack of manuals that he had sitting there. So I picked up a copy of the manual for Karnov. Now, Karnov is one of my favorite games all time on the NES, and I was sort of surprised to see it there. And at the end of the day, he said, I saw that manual, and he said he just threw it in with the rest of my purchases. The first game I got from John was The Legend of Cage. I don't know a whole lot about this game. I have played it. It's another karate game. It's not very highly rated, but man, I really did need it for the collection. I don't know. What am I going to say about that game? It's not a great game at all, but still, if you have to have it, I got it for a good deal there, and really happy to pick it up. The next one I picked up was Knight Rider. Man, it doesn't get any better than Knight Rider, huh? Kit, David Hasselhoff. It's just like an adventure driving game. Of course, a driving game is Knight Rider, for Pete's sakes. With Kit the talking car. I know they tried to make restart the series a few years ago, and I can remember Mama C really liked it. It only lasted one season, but she really liked the show. Too bad, really. I've heard other talk about them maybe making a movie or bringing it back on Netflix or something like that in the near future. Anyway, great addition. The licensed game for the NES collection, Knight Rider. So the next game I picked up is, we probably all heard of it, Shadowgate. Point-and-click adventure game that was transferred over to the NES. Originally was on like the Amiga, maybe the C64, I don't know, the Apple or Macintosh or something like that. But just a point-and-click adventure game. There were a few of these on the NES. Some people like them, some people don't like them that much. I don't know, I'm really happy to have picked it up and added to the collection at least. It's not a super expensive game by any stretch, but still, you don't see it around everywhere. I won't call it an absolute common, but it's just sort of one of those middle-of-the-road games. I always liked the point-and-click adventures back in the 90s, back in the 80s, because, of course, that was about as... there weren't many more technologically advanced adventure games back at that time, so most of the games we did play, like King's Quest series or Star Trek or different things like that, they were all point-and-click. So, as one of the few on the NES, it's a really highly rated game. Now, my very last pickup from John at Lost Coast is an NES cartridge that I didn't pick up the peripheral that went with it. I certainly wish I did, but it's a novelty more than anything. So obviously never going to play this thing. I haven't got the keyboard, but I do have a copy of Miracle Piano. Completely and ultimately for my collection. Like I said, obviously you're not going to play it. I'd have to find a keyboard, and I just don't go to the same flea markets that like Retro Liberty do and such, where I think they found 3 of them. Pat the NES Punk finds them out there. I just don't think they're around much anymore. Still, you never know. Maybe sometime I'll walk into one of these obscure thrift stores, antique shops back in the middle of the woods, and there one be sitting there, and I'll already have had the game. Anyhow, that was the opportunity to pick up the actual cartridge for my collection, so I grabbed it when I could. Very happy to have picked it up. Well, guys, that's it for my pickups this time. What a great bunch of stuff I picked up while down through Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, huh? Got to see a Weird Al concert, picked up the last CD that I needed of his, got some NES games, got some other games at GameSpot, some CDs, some socks, and got to see a Red Sox game and a couple of great bobbleheads right there. Anyway, guys, don't forget to hit like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you haven't grown up by the age
What is going on, guys? I'm CMRetro Gaming, and you are watching Papa Pete, the old guy gamer.
What the hell?